Would you dare to set foot in a land where every standard of beauty, marriage, and life itself runs completely opposite to the rest of the world? A place where, in the middle of endless desert, a train nearly 1.25 miles long thunders through storms of sand, where rusting ships pile up along the coast like a massive steel graveyard, and where people fish together with wild dolphins. This is Mauritania, a little-known country in West Africa, yet one that holds strange traditions, natural mysteries, and shocking taboos. Come with me as we uncover 15 truths that will take you from shock to pure amazement. Number 15. Women must be overweight to be considered beautiful. In Mauritania, beauty isn't about slimness or proportion like elsewhere, it's about size. The heavier the woman, the greater her worth. From a young age, many girls are sent to fattening camps in the desert, where they consume up to 15,000 calories daily, 7 times the average intake. Meals of fatty meat, camel's milk, and olive oil swell their bodies, making breathing heavy and every step feel like a struggle. To outsiders, it's nearly unthinkable, but for many families, this is the only way for their daughters to be respected and find a worthy marriage. If you ever travel here, remember, never comment on appearance, because in Mauritania, the standard of beauty is entirely different. If you were a girl growing up in this society, would you accept that standard or fight against it? But beauty ideals are just one piece of the puzzle in this unique society. In Mauritania, even the way marriage itself is viewed will leave the rest of the world stunned. Number 14. The marriage market for divorced women. In many cultures, divorce is tied to stigma and harsh judgment. But in Mauritania, the opposite is true. Women who separate from their husbands are not shamed, instead, they are admired as the most desirable candidates for marriage. Wearing brilliant silk gowns and shimmering gold and silver jewelry, they appear proudly at large social gatherings. Some remarry 5, 7, even 10 times, and each time, their value only grows. To Mauritanian men, a divorced woman represents wisdom, maturity, and proven skill in running a household. If you visit, the best advice is to honor this unique perspective rather than compare it to the norms back home. Does this strike you as liberation for women, or another cycle of pressure? But marriage is not the only aspect that shocks the world. In Mauritania, even nature reveals wonders when humans and animals work together in ways no one could have imagined. Number 13. People fish together with wild dolphins. In Mauritania exists one of the most extraordinary human-animal partnerships on Earth, people and wild dolphins fishing together. When fishermen knock on the sides of their boats or call out ancient sounds, dolphins appear, herding schools of fish directly into the nets before taking their share. What's incredible is that there is no training, no cages, only trust and cooperation passed down through generations. Local legends claim this alliance has lasted for centuries, binding humans and the sea with an invisible thread. UNESCO has even recognized it as intangible cultural heritage, honoring its sustainability and harmony with nature. If you find yourself at Banque d'Arguin, watch carefully and with respect. This bond is fragile, precious, and nearly one of a kind in the world. Do you believe this is proof of dolphin intelligence, or simply a centuries-old habit that became tradition? From this magical cooperation between people and dolphins, we move to a completely different scene, where massive abandoned ships line the coast, forming a steel graveyard beyond imagination. Number 12. The world's largest ship graveyard. Along the coast of Taboos stretches a haunting sight, more than 350 rusting ships spread across nearly 3 miles, creating the largest ship graveyard on the planet. From tiny wooden boats and worn-out fishing vessels to enormous cargo ships that once crossed the Atlantic, all now remain as skeletal steel hulks under the blazing Sahara sun. The view is both majestic and tragic, making visitors feel as though they've stepped into a post-apocalyptic world. Despite the pollution from oil leaks and toxic metals, paradoxically the site has become a destination for photographers and adventurers. Some tours even bring visitors at sunset, when the glowing red sky transforms the wrecks into giant steel monuments. If you visit, wear sturdy shoes, avoid touching rusted metal, and keep a safe distance for safety. Standing in this vast ship graveyard, would you be awestruck by its beauty or haunted by its decay? But if you think these abandoned ships are strange enough, prepare yourself, because in the blazing desert, a steel monster nearly 1.25 miles long roars across the sand. Number 11. The longest and harshest train ride on Earth. Across the barren Sahara Desert roars a steel monster that stuns the world, Mauritania's iron ore train. Nearly 1.25 miles long with more than 200 cars, it weighs tens of thousands of tons and connects the Zouarate iron mines with the port city of Nouadhibou, almost 435 miles away. Beyond being the nation's economic lifeline, this train is infamous for its extreme passenger experience. Travelers climb onto the roofs of freight cars, sitting directly on heaps of iron ore for a journey lasting over 20 hours. No seats, no shelter, no bathrooms, just scorching daytime heat, freezing desert nights, and Sahara sand whipping against your face like fire. Known as the world's most dangerous ride, it's also a once-in-a-lifetime adventure for those daring enough to try. If you go, bring goggles, scarves, water, and supplies, because once the train starts, there's no room for weakness. Would you dare climb aboard this steel beast for a journey not meant for the faint of heart? But the desert isn't only about wind, sand, and steel. Locals believe in a healing method so unusual it sounds like a dare, burying your body in scorching hot sand as if stepping into a natural sauna created by the desert itself. Number 10. Sandbathing to heal the body. In Mauritania, under the blistering midday sun of the Sahara, locals practice a healing method that sounds unbelievable, burying the entire body in hot sand. At midday in summer, when temperatures soar well above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, shallow pits are dug, and people lie inside while hot sand is piled over them from the neck down. For 20 to 30 minutes, the intense heat forces sweat to pour like rivers, heartbeats race, and people believe toxins are flushed out, easing joint pain and even curing chronic illnesses. Though its medical effectiveness is debated, this tradition has been passed down for generations. If you wish to try, make sure you drink plenty of water, follow the guidance of locals, and never overstay your time to avoid heat stroke. Do you see this as an extraordinary folk remedy or a dangerous trial for the body? But even the blistering pits of sand are not the desert's greatest wonder. Hidden deep within Mauritania lies a massive circle so huge it can only be seen from space, a mystery that has baffled scientists and inspired conspiracy theories for decades. Number 9. The Eye of the Sahara, a giant circle in the desert. Deep in the heart of Mauritania's Sahara lies a colossal geological formation 30 miles wide, known as the Eye of the Sahara, or the Rikhat structure. From the ground, it looks like a series of ridges and rocky layers. But from the sky, or from space, it appears as a giant eye staring straight into the universe. At first, scientists thought it was created by a meteorite impact or an ancient volcano. Later studies suggested it was formed by uplift and erosion of Earth's crust over millions of years. Still, theories about the lost city of Atlantis or extraterrestrial connections keep its mystery alive. If you visit, bring binoculars or a drone, because only from above can you fully appreciate the scale of this gigantic eye. Do you believe it's just a natural phenomenon, or evidence of a lost civilization? From mysteries of rock and sand, our journey now shifts to a treasure of human knowledge, preserved in thousands of ancient manuscripts hidden in the desert. Number 8. Chinguetti's Ancient Library, a desert treasure of knowledge. In the arid sands of Mauritania lies a small town named Chinguetti, home to more than 6,000 ancient manuscripts dating back to the 9th century. Inside dark, narrow rooms, you'll find old QANS, books on medicine, astronomy, law, and poetry, handwritten on parchment or paper, bound with ornate covers. Once called the City of Libraries, Chinguetti was a hub for scholars and traders traveling across North Africa and Europe along caravan routes. Today, only a few families remain, dedicating their lives to preserving these fragile treasures against wind and sand, passing the duty from one generation to the next. If you visit, wear gloves and follow all rules, because each page here is an irreplaceable piece of history. If given the chance to touch a 1,000-year-old manuscript, would you dare hold it in your hands, or only admire it from afar? But don't think Mauritania's heritage is only hidden in books. Step outside the ancient rooms and you'll encounter a bustling scene alive with sound and movement, hundreds of camels gathered in the largest camel market in all of West Africa. Number 7. The largest camel market in West Africa. On the outskirts of Nouakchott, Mauritania's capital, you'll find a sight rarely seen elsewhere, the largest camel market in West Africa. Hundreds of camels crowd the open space, from young calves only a few months old costing a few dozen dollars, to prized desert stallions are worth up to $20,000, the price of a new car in the US. The air is filled with the calls of traders, the smell of sand and fresh camel's milk, and the deep, throaty sounds of camels echoing across the desert wind. Buyers examine every detail, teeth, hooves, gait, even reflexes, to determine value. The market is not just for business but also a cultural gathering, attracting people from Mali, Senegal, and Morocco. If you go, prepare for the crowds and try fresh camel's milk, which locals consider a miracle drink for health. Does this scene feel more like a colorful cultural festival, or a chaotic market unlike anything you've seen before? And would you dare take a sip of fresh camel's milk right in the middle of the bustling crowd? Yet amid the clamor of camels and the buzz of bargaining, Mauritania still harbors a small community that lives by a completely different rhythm, an oasis of freedom in the harsh desert, where men and women work side by side, quietly defying the usual rules. Number 6. The Sufi community, an oasis of freedom in the harsh desert. Amid Mauritania's strict Sharia laws, where daily life is often shaped by rigid rules, there exists a small community called Medidra, seen as an oasis of freedom for the Sufi. Founded in 1975, this place stands out for its unique lifestyle where men and women work together, study together, and trade together without separation. They tend gardens, grow vegetables, raise livestock, and produce organic goods guided by the Sufi philosophy of harmony with nature. What's striking is that while many parts of the country restrict women from appearing in public, here equality and cooperation are a natural part of daily life. If you visit, come with respect and an open mind, because this is not just an agricultural community, but living proof of tolerance and unity. Do you think such a small community could become the seed of change for an entire nation? And when you leave this peaceful oasis, nature speaks again. In the middle of this harsh land lies a massive resting ground for millions of migratory birds, turning Mauritania into an unexpected paradise in the desert. Number 5. A birdwatcher's paradise in the desert. Few would expect that in the dry sands of Mauritania lies one of the world's greatest bird sanctuaries, Banque d'Arguin National Park. Spanning more than 4,600 square miles, it hosts over 2 million migratory birds, from flamingos blazing pink across the horizon to giant white pelicans, herons, seagulls, and hundreds of other species. In winter, the sky becomes a living stage as vast flocks land together, creating a breathtaking spectacle in the heart of the desert. Banque d'Arguin is not only a paradise for photographers and scientists but also the lifeline of the Imragan fishermen, who continue to use traditional fishing methods. If you go, prepare for simple camping, because here there are no luxury hotels, only sea breeze, waves, and the thunder of wings. If you camped here, would you wake to a peace beyond belief, or struggle to sleep through the roar of countless wings? But as you leave this vibrant scene, another truth will surprise you. In Mauritania, even something as common as the internet is a costly, unreliable luxury. Number 4. Our expensive and weak internet. While in many countries Wi-Fi is free at cafes or airports, in Mauritania the internet is treated like a luxury. Average speeds in the capital Nouakchott are barely 3 to 5 megabits per second, while in rural areas, access is almost impossible. Prices can shock visitors. At times, 1 gigabyte of mobile data has cost as much as $10, many times higher than in developed nations. Online education, e-commerce, and digital creativity here face endless challenges. If you plan to visit, download maps and materials ahead of time and don't rely too heavily on staying connected. Instead, embrace the chance to step away from the virtual world and immerse yourself in the raw rhythm of desert life. Would you see this disconnection as a burden or as a rare gift to enjoy real life? But poor internet access is only the surface. Even money itself, a system that seems universal everywhere, takes a baffling twist in Mauritania. Number 3. A bizarre non-decimal currency. If you're used to currencies divided neatly into 100 units like the dollar or euro, Mauritania's money will feel like a puzzle. The ouguiya is divided into 5 koums, making calculations a nightmare for visitors. Imagine buying a glass of mint tea for 7 koums, yet because small coins have almost disappeared, the vendor may hand you candy instead of change. This odd system leaves travelers both confused and amused. At traditional markets, bargaining isn't just fun, it's sometimes a way to avoid losing your change in sweets. If you go, always keep a currency converter handy, and don't be surprised if you walk away with candy instead of coins. If someone gave you candy instead of change, would you laugh it off or feel frustrated? But strange money matters are nothing compared to Mauritania's religious and social taboos, because here, even a glass of wine is impossible. Number 2. A total ban on alcohol. If you're used to enjoying a glass of wine or an ice-cold beer on your travels, in Mauritania that's not an option. As an Islamic country under strict Sharia law, all sale and consumption of alcohol are completely banned. Travelers bringing alcohol will have it confiscated at the border, and heavy penalties may apply if you break the rule. Unlike Morocco or Tunisia, where tourists can still find bars, Mauritania has no legal restaurants or stores that serve alcohol. Instead, the drinks of choice are sweet mint tea and fresh camel's milk, refreshments deeply tied to local culture. If you visit, respect these rules and treat it as a chance to discover unique traditions, rather than trying to bend the strict law. Would you be willing to give up alcohol and trade it for sweet mint tea on your journey? But if the alcohol ban surprises you, the final truth is even more striking. In Mauritania, leaving Islam is not just frowned upon, it's treated as a serious offense. Number 1. Leaving Islam is forbidden. Mauritania is one of the few nations in the world where nearly the entire population follows Islam, mainly the conservative Maliki Sunni tradition. Here, religion is not only belief but law, woven tightly into everyday life. By regulation, leaving Islam is considered a grave offense, and anyone who does is pressured to return within 3 days. In reality, the subject is rarely spoken about publicly, but the boundary remains untouchable. Women wrap themselves in melfa cloth stretching yards long even under 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat, while men wear loose blue boo-boos to shield against desert storms, all symbols tied to religious pride and identity. For travelers, the most important advice is to avoid sensitive discussions about religion and always show respect through dress, speech, and behavior. Do you think religious faith should be a personal choice or the foundation of an entire society? Thus, you have journeyed with us through all 15 strange truths about Mauritania, a path filled with surprises, debates, and unforgettable moments. Thank you for accompanying us on this exploration of Mauritania's unusual realities. From unique beauty standards and extraordinary marriage customs to the mysterious eye of the Sahara, each story proves that this vast world still holds countless wonders that can leave us amazed. And this is only the beginning. In our upcoming videos, we will continue to take you to other lands full of mystery and surprises. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our adventures.